Hello, and welcome to our lesson on ethics in communication. This segment will cover communication with metrics and reports, Part 1. Let's face it, though they seem straightforward, the reality of numbers is that they are easily manipulated and at times difficult to draw real value from. In many cases, project leaders are interested in statistics usefulness, but hesitant to communicate actual numbers because of the potential for negative interpretation. Questions begin to present themselves. Are these numbers useful? Do they cast an inaccurate view of the project? Are we in danger of a draconian management by the numbers scenario? The statistics of projects are called metrics. The following may seem a wide generalization, but nonetheless we must state it. Metrics are only important if they help the project team make important decisions. They provide some sort of context required for the proper consideration of available choices. Metrics can generally be divided into two types. Private metrics, generally known only to the project team and are important to their everyday self-optimization. A common example would be errors found per week. The value outside of the team is limited, and disclosure would in many cases result in misinterpretation or undue concern. Public metrics, more formal and meant to be disseminated outside of the core team. A common example would be schedule variance, or how far off schedule the project is. These metrics are valuable to a wider set of stakeholders and are generally more direct in their interpretation. Private metrics are often the subject of daily one-on-one conversations or team-only meetings. In some cases, these metrics may be rolled up into more generally applicable public metrics. Public metrics also are an essential element of project communication, but like statistics, they have a potential for misunderstanding, manipulation, and wasted effort. Reports, in large part, are collections of metrics that add trending information, context, and organization. Though reports vary from individual metrics, their core principles are similar, and they share many of the same potential downsides. So how do we make metrics and reports useful? By properly collecting, analyzing, packaging, and communicating them to stakeholders. When sending metrics and reports, consider the following. Level of details. This is surpassingly hard to get right. Some prefer to send all the data down to the most intricate detail. Others roll everything up, only sending one number. Success lies in balance and knowing what each stakeholder prefers. The communication channel, like the level for detail, this can vary. A spreadsheet is better prepared to manage detailed statistics than a hyped-out email is. In some cases, the communication channel and level of detail can work together by including, for example, a summary in an email with a link to more detailed numbers, a hybrid approach. The role and the wishes of the recipient, a project leader needs to consider who is to receive the information. A direct manager has more time and interest to devote to detailed numbers than a C-level executive. In some cases, recipients at the same level may also have different wishes. The easiest way to know is to ask what the recipient is to use the information for. Are the reports to be read by human eyes, or are they to be rolled up into another report where the recipient spends hours moving the data into their own spreadsheets, both parties unaware of the other? Once again, ask what the recipient is using the data for. Interpretation. It is not appropriate to provide some enhancements to your numbers, such as baseline or trend information, extrapolation, or interpretation. This can be extremely helpful to someone who isn't connected to the project as a sender. This is also a potential area where obfuscation or positive spin may be inappropriate added. Cyclative. Metrics are often a single number or ratio. Remember to give proper ethical context when sharing them with stakeholders. Cyclative is the average period required to complete one cycle. The definition of a single cycle can vary, from the entire project to how long a single phase takes. This is used for schedule orientation comparison. Variance is reference to how far the actual earned value is from the expected committed schedule or budget, called a baseline, at the current point of time. This is useful for extrapolating whether the committed end date or budget will be met. A related metric would simply be the percent completed or actual earned value. Resource utilization typically tracks the utilization of the team, human resources, though there are similar metrics for non-human resources. It's calculated as the percentage of available resource hours currently being charged to the project in the given period, such a week. A number significantly below 100% means that resources are possibly being wasted. Over 100% means overtime of potential burnout. Both speak to the possibility of inefficiency. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss communication with metrics and reports, Part 2. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening and see you on our next segment.